welcome to Splaw Man Presents. This is Splaw Man. I'm sitting at my desk today and I was actually going through some email and I thought today I would share some of the emails that I get around licensing, some of the top questions that come up. So bear with me as I read through these. I think they're really good. I think maybe a lot of you have the same questions. Let's go through it now. So John from Toronto asked, which price do I pay for an audit settlement? We are in an audit now, and we know there are price increases coming in January. Which price do we pay? You know, that's a great question. So even if you're submitting usage, your monthly usage report in January, get it in by January 10th, whether it's an audit settlement or your monthly usage report. Anything after, you're going to pay the 2025 prices. And so it's important to get your settlement taken care of before January 10th. It's processed by Microsoft. And by processed, I mean accepted by Microsoft. Just not placing an order gets your usage in. You have to actually get it processed by Microsoft. So that's really important. Anything after, you have to pay the new 2025 pricing. Good news is SQL is not going up in price. And obviously SQL is the most expensive product at Microsoft. And so it may not be as big of an impact. Martin from the Netherlands asked, so Microsoft reached out to us about Azure Arc. What's your take? Well, I have a feeling, Martin, you're not the only one that's been asked or approached by Microsoft about Azure Arc. You know, to me, it has its place, right? I think it fits different models and situations. But here's what's interesting to me is it's not so much about the licensing, it's about the management, right? There's different tools involved because I think it's ironic because Azure Arc in a way is a management platform, right? And I also think we were talking about audits earlier. I think one of the other issues is Microsoft usually will negotiate an audit, either an outright payment or an Azure commitment. Well, you want to make sure it's right for your business. Whether it's Azure Arc or deploying in Azure, whatever it is, you have to make sure that it's right for your business. Like I was talking to another hoster and he says, you know, for a small to medium-sized company like ours, Azure Arc, you know, it has its place, but it's also about the management, the different tools that we would have to invest in order to make this happen appropriately. And, you know, those tools are very expensive, and we don't have the luxury of, you know, paying not just for Azure Arc, but also the tools that are needed in order to make it successful. And so that's a really concern for this hoster specifically. And imagine if you did an audit settlement, right, using Azure Arc, and you made your commitment, and then afterwards you realize, wait a minute, this is more expensive than I originally thought. Well, you signed the dotted line with Microsoft, and therefore you owe that commitment. There's really no negotiation after that. After you settle with Microsoft, it is what it is. It's pretty black and white. So that's my take on it. Like I said, I think it has its place. And really, you know, other thing with hosters tell me about Azure is, you know, when you move to Azure, you're basically moving you're setting up your own customer's tenant, not your tenant, but your customer's tenant. And sometimes the fear is that they will become just another reseller for their customers. Where Splaw, you kind of control the end-to-end process. You control the end customers. You control the licensing. You control where it's deployed, how it's deployed. And so, you know, there's a lot more involved there. Yes, the licensing sucks. Licensing sucks no matter what program you go through. But that's one of the questions that was brought up to me is, hey, are we just becoming another reseller? So keeping that in mind. Sam from India. Hey, Sam, what's going on, man? We received an audit notification and don't understand why. You're probably not alone there, Sam. We only report $6,000 a month in Splaw reporting, but yet a third-party auditor is conducting this audit. We only provide Windows Data Center and SQL Web. Well, there you go. You're reporting SQL Web. That's why you got the audit notification, because there's only one scenario in which SQL Web applies, and that's if you're hosting a publicly accessible website. If I have to log in, it's not publicly accessible. If you're running a line of business application like CRM or some other healthcare application or something where, like I said, it's a line of business used to run a business, it's not publicly accessible. And so that's the reason why you got audited. Is I'm guessing the auditors looked at your SPLA reporting and said, look, this guy has been reporting SQL Web for years, and when all along he should have been reporting SQL Standard. And that's a lot more expensive. So when you go back 3 years of settlement, it can be pretty pricey. So hang in there, though. I think you'll be okay. Wait a minute now, Lucy. You shouldn't be barking. Anyways, hey, I'm getting barked at by my dog. Have a great day, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.